Age isn't something to be feared. It's something to look forward to. Dr. Heather Bartos dares you to embrace menopause as the best time of your life because according to her, menopause rocks. Dr. Bartos joins us to share more about this topic. Welcome to Texas Today. So nice to meet you.
Thank you for having me today.
So let me get this right. You went from PR to MD. Why did you decide to make the switch?
Yes, in my mid to late 20s, I decided I wanted to go from kind of promoting stories to being a part of the story and making changes. And I felt that medicine was the way I could do that.
Why are you so passionate about menopause?
Well, I think that this age has been kind of shunted and forgotten about for a long time. And I think this is actually the best time of life for women. It's the best time because we're free of all these other constraints. We actually get to be who we really are at midlife.
That's a great point. I've never thought about that. Okay, so what are some of the most common misconceptions that you think people have about menopause?
In this country, it's interesting. We kind of think of menopause as being you're dried up, you're old, you're useless, you don't have kids anymore, what are you here for? And that's just not the case. Midlife menopausal women are vital, they're changing the world still. It's just like you're not under someone else's thumb anymore.
So what are some tips that you can give us to be able to navigate this phase in life?
Yeah, so one of the big three ones are, one is have a support team, and that includes a great doctor, a great hair person, all the things you need to keep your glam squad going, and have a great circle of friends. That tribal community is really important for the midlife woman going through changes, because that's where you'll find who's doing the same things as you, who's doing different things, and that support is essential.
Oh, and you have a book coming up soon. What is it about?
I do. It's called Quickies, 100 Little Lessons to Living Sexily Ever After in Midlife. And it really is about finding that menopause isn't about just hormones and hot flashes, and it's also about the cold bedroom and the intimacy issues and the identity issues that we go through.
And your work and your book and everything that you're doing has been, recognized by just Oprah Winfrey, you guys. How does that make you feel?
It was actually a big surprise. I had no idea that I was on this list. I was the only Southern gynecologist on this list that Oprah and Maria Shriver came up with, and I had no idea. I started getting calls. They're like, congratulations. And I'm like, for what?
What's going on?
And they're like, Oprah and Maria Shriver named you as a top menopause expert in the country. And I thought, great, now we can all start having the conversations that we should have been having 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah, and then you're going to be part of a huge event happening. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's the Shine 360 event. It's on May 8th here at the Mark, and it's going to be an intergenerational, which I love this for women, really kind of tapping into the wisdom of those older than us and then really kind of passing on wisdom to those younger than us. And so it's going to be an event of just amazing speakers and just this whole intergenerational community of women coming together.
Where is this going to take place and how can we get tickets?
It's in Grapevine, and it's the Shine 360, so you can just go online and find Shine 360, and the event is May 8th, and you can get tickets online.
So how have you felt that you have impacted women, when they're scared about menopause and they're trying to navigate, this phase in their lives, but then you put such a positive light in it? How is the reaction like?
A lot of times women are really almost taken aback, and they almost feel like they're supposed to suffer at this point. We're really good at that as women, feeling like we should suffer. And when they're like, I don't have to suffer and feel bad. I'm like, no, this is your time. This is an amazing time. And people look at me like I'm crazy sometimes. And I'm like, just trust me, in a couple months, you're gonna feel like a new woman. And they come back in glowing and vital and feeling like they can take on the world.
I was going through your website and I just felt a very positive vibe. You were saying yes, you're going to experience all these things that are physical, but that doesn't mean that you have to be okay with that. There are things you can do to make yourself feel better. Meditate, exercise, you have resources so that this phase in your life can be an enjoyable one.
Absolutely, and I like to also share kind of what I've gone through with menopause and tell women, look, this is what I've done, this is what I've experienced, because sometimes you just need that link to be able to come out of your shell and say, oh, I had that too.
Yeah, and then for a doctor to be telling us about that, that's amazing. So thank you so much for doing that.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, my pleasure.
To learn more about Menopause Rocks with Dr. Heather Bartos or to book an appointment, visit heatherbartosmd.com. You can also keep up with her on Instagram at Dr. Heather Bartos.